Please welcome
the Simone Feiler podcast. Subscribe to the channel.
A warm welcome to everyone in the audience.
Like and share the videos to help indie authors get their story out to the people who need to hear them. And welcome to the Simone Feiler podcast.
Welcome.
Giving authors a platform.
G'day there, Simone Feiler. Welcome to the podcast. I am extremely excited today to chat with the fabulous Caitlin Barth. She's Giving Wealth. Here's her book. When I first got the email, Caitlin, I was like, she's giving wealth. This is like a sign from the universe directly. I'm going there.
I love that you love the title. It took a long time to come up with it. And I was like, to put it all into one sentence is hard, but I just really like it. She's giving wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's giving wealth. When I first saw it, I thought financially. Of course you do when you're talking about wealth. But after spending last week with you and a box of tissues, wealth is so much more than money.
Yeah.
You know, for women in particular, because you've written for women in particular, you know, growth, mindset, all of that stuff, it's all in there. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And it was such a beautiful experience, you know, recording the audiobook with you. And it was so interesting initially coming in, and I felt very, you know, professional and very focused. And I think by the end I was just like, Simone is beautiful. Like, there is no better space to tell this story. I felt really safe. I felt really witnessed and really held. So I feel like I'm getting quite emotional, but I feel like that little booth where, you know, this little padded dark room, at first it was quite confronting, you know, like, standing in there, you know, reading this book that's really from my own experience and the experience of these beautiful women in my life, and telling their stories and talking about patterns that I started to see in the world and realizations I'd come to. And it was really confronting to stand there and to talk about it. But I think it was so cathartic. And I think, like the box of tissues beside us. And I think I'd say something and I'd start choking up, and then I'd look out the window occasionally and like your little hand would steal over to the tissue box and I'd be like, oh yeah.
Got it.
Which sounds awful, but it's also so lovely when it resonates and when you feel the power of the words that you're saying, and you can see someone else respond to that, and you can see like it permeate into their being, and almost that moment of, you know, like I feel witnessed, I feel held, I feel seen.
Yeah, and validated. Validating.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. There's a lot. I was like, you too? Oh my goodness, this is written in the book, you know, that really stirred something inside me. Not just one section, numerous sections that I could either see that I was there and I have grown and I have come through that, and other sections that I feel like I'm going through now. Yeah. But it's all part of the journey, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that first step is so important in going, I am where I am, and I have built something despite what the voices inside my head and my heart are saying to me, despite never feeling like I have it together, or that I've come far enough, or that I have enough, or that I've made enough. And that's a really common story for women, particularly because we have been systemically excluded and at times kept from money, kept from making it, kept from investing it, and our very selves, our time, our labour, have been so unappreciated and just extracted from us.
Yep.
And
so
I think
true.
the big theme is to say, despite the system, despite all of the things that were said against me, like, I'm here. And that's really powerful to say, I've built something despite it. Yeah. And I look at you and I go, you know, you have created this beautiful studio that and a business that you love. Like, your passion is so evident. And I look at your work, getting these voices out into the world, these vibrations out into the world. That's right. And I go, you have created wealth. You know, you have these beautiful kids. You've got, you know, everything that you have built is worthy and it is worth something, even when the system, you know, whispers to us that we're not. And I think that's the foundation of the work is you are enough.
Yeah.
You know, and you're worthy and you're amazing.
Yeah, thank you for writing your book. It's amazing. And I certainly didn't expect actually about, you know, the systemic dramas that we as women have built by the system that is excluding, getting better a little maybe.
Yes.
Maybe, but literally has excluded us.
Yeah.
In particular, when you were talking about, you know, the amount of hours that we put in, particularly because we wanted to work. And if we have children, we have to work. We still have to clean the house. We still have to look after the children. And a lot of that's unpaid work.
Yeah.
And, you know, on the other side, there's, you know, you hear whispers if men have to do it that I have to look after the kids all day. You know, it's like, well, we had to look after the kids all day and we had to work and we had to clean and we had to do the washing and we had to do the shopping.
Yes. And the cognitive load, like we show up for our jobs, you know, globally women do 2.5 times the amount of unpaid labour that men do. So we're already showing up depleted. We're already showing up with our resources, our time, our energy, ourselves being, you know, pre-drained.
Yeah.
And
Pre-drained.
Pre-drained.
Pretty much.
And then
Running on empty.
in many cases, and then it being expected to do the equivalent of what a man does and then go back home and do the unpaid care work again. And it's not men bashing at all. It is, you know, the book explicitly acknowledges that the system wasn't built perfectly for men either. It disadvantages the majority of men too, but it actively excludes women and extracts from them, and that is the difference.
So when did you first start noticing that?
It was real pattern recognition. I think as a young female, you absorb the message that you have to work harder, you have to hustle. You absorb that hustle language, you've got to pay your dues and put the hours in. And then over time, you just start noticing and you kind of, the reality settles in and you go, okay, well, that person sitting across from me, they get their meals cooked for them, you know, they get their house cleaned for them, they get to get up at 5 and go to the gym without having a toddler, you know, at home that you can't leave.
If you do have to go to the gym, you have to take the toddler into the creche, which is a whole thing to worry about.
Yes. So I think it's that recognition of, oh, okay, but I think you just kind of go, oh, no, I'm the problem, because that's society's message, right? Like, you just have to work harder, you just have to try more, you just have to be more disciplined, you have to be more motivated, you just have to budget harder, you have to work harder. It's like, if women were actually paid for the work we did, we'd be the highest paid demographic on the planet.
Yeah.
But we're not. We're told to work harder, but we're actually under-leveraged. We don't leverage our own power, our own time, our own energy, because we're taught not to, and we're so tired and exhausted that, you know, we don't have any bandwidth left. So I think it was, really recognising those patterns and going, well, hang on, like, this isn't fair. I'm doing, you know, 2 times what other people are doing, what, you know, some men are doing, but I'm still not getting ahead, but it's still my fault. And then you just go,
no.
At what point is this? This is lunacy. It's not logic. And so for me, the real turning point was, I did work really hard, and I worked in real estate, and I did 7-day weeks. I did 12-hour days. And listen, I'm really proud of what I did and what I built, and it was very unsustainable at the same time. It was a big energy drain, and my body, you know, started responding to that. I was sick constantly. I had no energy, and I was really unhappy. And I think it was only then that I thought, okay, well, this isn't sustainable either. I'm doing everything I should do, and I'm absolutely depleted and exhausted. You know, what's the balance here? Where is there an actual balance, and is there a pattern? And so for me, I was able to invest and create a portfolio of property from that job because I really leveraged my time. I leveraged my hours. I did so much training. I worked so hard, invested that into property. And then I think the turning point came late last year when I went, I want to spend some time investigating this. I'm sick of trying harder. I'm sick of working harder. I've got assets sitting there and I'm stressed about them because I'm expected to have a lifestyle where I don't even see my baby, to pay for that lifestyle. And I'm not okay with that anymore. I'm not going to pay that price anymore. So I sold the property, and it bought me this 6 months to launch the book and to finish the book and to interview women about what they experience and to look at the system and to deep dive research. And I feel like past Caitlin looked after present Caitlin, but not every woman has that opportunity to do that.
No. Well, or the wherefore, or the knowledge, or the foresight. Because you need to give yourself credit for that. Someone has to do that, and you have on this occasion.
Well, thank you. But I also go, well, but that was also because of, I just feel like more women would have the capacity to do that if they had the finances behind them to do it. But the fact is, often we don't. Because we are under-resourced. Like it's just
it's a
this
circle,
loop.
isn't it?
It's this loop. So I just go, I haven't done anything extraordinary. I've deep dived into something that's really important to me and important to women. But I've had the finances behind me because of the work I did. It's just really interesting. I feel like if women had more money, we would be unstoppable, which is the whole reason we aren't allowed it.
Very true. There's a lot of ways I could go from that comment. Thinking, be diplomatic, Simone.
Or not.
Or not. Not changing the subject the easiest. So you've interviewed or just had discussions with some beautiful women throughout your book that, add value to the cases that you're putting forward. How did you meet these women? How did you, connect with them?
Beautiful question. And it was through women. A lot of the women are either friends of mine from way back or women that were connected to me through women that I met on my journey. Yes, so it was a combination of lifelong, really, relationships, but also some women that I've met in the last 6 months. And it was because women connect women. And so it was this moment of Neris in the book. She's my skin therapist. I met her. She's amazing. She has been in emergency care. She's been a director level at Queensland Health. She's incredible at what she does. In her 50s, she actually started her own skincare business. She went and did all of the training. She bought this medical grade equipment. She's doing her own social media because she wants to build something that's hers, her own business.
That's incredibly inspiring.
Oh, so
Age is just a number.
Oh, and I just look at her and I go, you are a powerhouse. And the thing about Neris is she doesn't gatekeep. And I love that. She shares that power. She shares those connections. So she was talking to me about the book and she was like, I need to connect you to these women. So then she said, you need to meet my makeup artist, Carmen. And through Carmen, I met Carmen's sister, Katie. And Katie and Steph are in the book. And then I met Cassandra through Neris. So it was just this real, network. And Cassie I met when I was off reclaiming myself, when my relationship had broken down, when I'd been exhausted from real estate, I just quit, I sold, I moved to the Northern Rivers and I met Cassie and Suze there and they're social workers and I was their housemate for 6 months in this little yellow house in the Northern Rivers and that was my safe place. That was almost a womb that I emerged from with a different perspective on the world and there was so much healing there and so much laughter and tears and
in a beautiful place on the planet.
It's just
amazing.
Beautiful. Just the beaches and so I feel like they're all women that connected me with other women on my journey and that's what we do so beautifully. And the book talks about women stand in the breach for each other, and if there's a break in the defenses of the wall, women are the ones that come and stand there and protect you while you rebuild. And the ones that remind you who you really are.
Yeah.
And the ones that say, I'm not going to let you forget who you are. And I'm not going to let you be defined by this experience because you're not this experience. You will rise again because of who you intrinsically are.
Oh, so beautiful.
So I feel like so many of the women in the book have done that for me. And it's just a beautiful, it's a witness, and it's a pleasure, and it's an honor to amplify their voices, because their voices matter.
Definitely.
They matter. Their lives matter. What they built matter, whether our system and world recognise it or not.
Yeah, well, that's the essence of the book, is what they've built and where they've come from and how far they've come.
Yes.
And their belief in themselves.
Yes.
Regardless of the system
Yes.
and what the system has provided for us.
Yeah.
Or not.
Or not.
Snap.
Extracted from us.
It is, I mean, I've worked in a man's industry my whole life. I used to work in radio, so I did feel like I had to work harder, prove myself harder, take the less pay or whatever.
Yes.
But you keep forging along, and every little step that you take helps a little bit with changing the system, like 100%. She's Giving Wealth.
Yes. Yeah.
How did you settle on She's Giving Wealth, and what does wealth mean to you now? After writing it? Oh, there's so many questions. I also wanted to, just quickly before that one, did the book hit differently for you reading it out loud, doing the narration?
Yeah. Yes.
How did you find that?
The thing about the book and the thing about my life is that it acknowledges that we never truly arrive. The system really, tells us, and these voices in our head tell us that we need to be further along. And it's like, along where? Along what journey? Along what trajectory? You can't tell me what my life should look like. And it really acknowledges that women's lives move in seasons, and their money moves in seasons with them. So instead of saying, listen, you earn, you invest, you save, you invest, you retire, that advice was not written for the majority of women's lives. Our lives don't work like that. We have unpaid care gaps. We've got caregiving gaps. We've got superannuation gap. We've got the lifetime earnings gap. We've got the pay gap. There's so many gaps, and we're expected to paper and bridge those gaps ourselves. And then when we can't, we're told we're the problem, we're the issue. So really, seasons instead really reflect the realities of a woman's life, because one moment you can be in summer and you can be enjoying the fruits of everything you've built in your life, and your money can be flowing freely and opportunities are there, and you've got systems and structure behind you to support you. And then the next minute, bam, you're actually in the thaw, where there's a phoenix persona in there, where something unexpected happens. There's a death, or there's a job loss, or there's a relationship breakdown, or there's ill health or chronic health. And that's something the finance books never tell us how to address. We're just sort of told we should be doing all of these things over here, but in reality it feels like we're just surviving. And the book's really around wherever you are, it's a season, and you're exactly where you should be, despite the system that extracts from you. And reading it again, really, I was reading my own life back to me, which was like deeply intimate, deeply challenging. And I teared up because it was a beautiful reminder of what I've built, even though my life hasn't looked the way I thought it should. And the way that my life has run, where I feel like I'm a failure in certain areas. And it's a beautiful moment to go, well, actually, I've built things despite that. And relationships and connections with other women, and the body of work, which is my book, and the research. So reading it back to me really reiterated that I'm in a season, and I'm just going through a breakup, like a relationship breakdown right now as we speak. And I think reading the book back was so cathartic, because it was a reminder, hey, you have 100% success rate of making it through every challenge in your life.
Yeah. I love that.
And it's like, you can't mess this up, because you're going to come through it. Despite it, you're going to rise stronger and kinder, and with more capacity and more wisdom and more love than ever. And the system can't measure those things, but you will. And it's also around looking at money the same way, and going, you're not going to be making as much money in the thaw potentially, because you're just back into a rapid shift, a rapid season. But this is the job in the thaw, is to stay with yourself and to hold yourself and to have self-compassion and to recognize what you've built and what you have, to grieve the loss of what you're going through, and just to stay with yourself throughout it, and to stay, and money then becomes something to support that time and to support you rather than you having to make it or having to invest or having to do things. It's actually about supporting your life and your wealth.
I love that about your book, because you do go through the seasons and the archetypes for those seasons. And I think that's what I was saying before. I could see myself in the earlier parts. Yeah. I'm obviously not, no one's quite there, because it's all a journey, right?
Yes.
And we're working towards being our best selves.
Yes.
But you gave me the Phoenix card. And obviously I've just been through major heartache with my dad passing away. But I also remember with my breakup, when my marriage fell apart, that's when I started becoming more self-aware.
Yes.
Thinking, I've got to do something now. And that's when I created my business. So I could see a couple of things that I thought I've got through and that I can grow from this. And sometimes those really dark times have an ember in there that can really ignite something that's going to be bigger and better.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And I think the whole book is about coming home to yourself, because we as women are constantly told we're too little, we're not enough. We take up too much space. We don't take up enough. No matter who you are and how you are in the world, it's wrong. It's wrong. And the book is really about saying, I'm sick of, even the word empowerment really gets to me, because empowerment for me suggests that we need to have permission given or power given to us by someone else, when in fact our power comes from within us. And it's just the systems and the structures around us that actually keep that in check and tell us we need to wait for permission, or we need to wait to become our best selves, or we need to work on this and work on that. And yes, there is work. There is self-work, but a lot of that is self-compassion. It's actually coming from a place where it's like, you don't need to work on yourself endlessly to become a better version of you. Why don't you just become more you?
Yeah, beautiful.
And because I'm
have
sick
more
of it.
faith in yourself.
Yeah.
More belief in yourself.
Yeah.
Go with those things that you think, I want to do. I feel like I want to do that, but what will they think about me? Or what will he think about me? Or what will, the powers at work think of me?
Yeah.
Just put all that behind you.
Yeah, and that's hard. And it's hard because the conditioning we've absorbed is be aware of other people, put other people's needs first, contort yourself, you must fit in here, you must do. So that's the messaging we're absorbing from a very young age as women. And so to go against that is hard. But I think it's a strong statement, but I think any relationship, any job, any career, any structure that demands that we self-abandon to stay in it is not sustainable. And it's not one that we have to choose. We can choose ourselves. And every time we choose ourselves, every time we reclaim our power, our energy, our time, our money, our labour, it is just a small rising. And in some seasons, it can be really hard. In others, you're getting instant fruit. You're getting almost the results of what you've laboured for. And it's a beautiful season and time. And it's more about how do I direct my money and how do I leverage my time and my money and my energy and earn more and create more. But other seasons is how do I just see what's happening and hold myself through it. And how do I start seeing these patterns and getting angry but holding myself through it? Or how do I start rebuilding and holding myself through it?
Well, your book's definitely got some very strategic paths to help you do that, and case studies with the women that you've discussed in the book. Yes. But wealth is many different things to many different people.
Yes.
And we don't have to just think wealth is just money.
That's huge. And I think everyone goes, oh, it's a money book. And I'm going, it's so much more than that. Money is only one element of it, because it's a reclamation of self, all parts of ourselves, our time, our energy, our careers, our relationships, our time, our labor. So wealth really for me it's not a number. It's a number that supports the life that you choose and that you want to come home to. And I'm very explicit. It doesn't tell women what they should want, because we're sick of being told what to do, right? We're sick of being told what we should want, what our lives should look like. It asks a big question, which is, what is wealth to you? Yeah. And to me at the moment, it's part-time work, self-directed work that's important to me, building organizations and individuals, and showing them the importance of who they are and their value and their worth within systems that typically extract from them.
That's such beautiful work, though.
And it excites me. And I wake up every day excited to do that and to learn from other women. Every woman has a story. Every woman has wisdom to learn from.
Because we've all had to work very hard with little reward.
Yes. But we're not conditioned to see it that way. So then when we start speaking to each other, there's a real power. And in the book it says, you don't have to make a huge jump yourself, but even just a little jump together, if we all do it at the same time, we can make the earth shake.
I love that. I love that line.
And I think that's how we're going to do it. That's how we do it. We share power. We don't gatekeep. And the momentum just keeps on rising.
Yeah.
That's what wealth is for me. Part-time at the moment, time with my baby who's 20 months old, time to do this really beautiful work. That's wealth for me. And yes, in the future, it's going to be more property. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. But it's about what will support my life and the life that I want to live right now.
Also about authenticity.
Yes.
Because we had a chat just before we got on the podcast about, you standing for what you believe, what you've written, how you feel it should go, that you've looked at things in your life that you think this needs to change.
It's really, it's very difficult writing such a exploratory book because it's really self-revelatory. I took the last week after the audiobook, it really cracked me open again. And I was like, this is so powerful. These themes are so powerful. Women are so powerful, and the way they've been kept from their power and told what wealth is and told who they should be. It's so apparent once you see, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to take a week to sit with the book and I'm going to read it and I'm going to actually apply it back into my life. Now that the launch we've been through this busy time, this busy season. I've been in, spring territory, creating, laying down foundations, putting up the website, writing the book, doing the audiobook. Now I'm going to sit with it and see what it tells me for right now. And it was really hard and it was really beautiful. And it had one sentence in there that just cracked me open again. And it was, what has to stabilize in my life so that growth doesn't destabilize me? Because often we race into, I need to make, I need to create, I need to get more money, I need to, well, what about at the moment your structures? What are your relationships like? What is your systems and your processes like? Where's your money at? If you suddenly got heaps more of something, money, energy, time, what would actually crumble in your life, or what would be shaky? How do we reinforce that? And for me, the moment was, there's a relationship where I went, okay, this is extracting my energy more than it's giving back to me. And I was like, that is the one thing in my life that is taking more energy than it's giving to me right now. And it was a really painful moment of going, it's a mirror moment. I'm seeing in the mirror and I know what it is, and I've known what it is for some time, and it's around, okay, and now I'm in a safe enough place. And safety is so important.
Definitely. You talk about that a lot in the book, being safe.
And that nervous system work, it is really built around, if you're coming from a deregulated nervous system, nothing's going to stick. nothing. Anything you will do will be out of anxiety or reactivity or panic rather than from groundedness, from self-compassion. And I'm literally holding myself because I'm doing that a lot for myself at the moment. Because you want the growth to be sustainable. I could, keep a relationship going over here and go out over here and start doing new projects and new things, and money might start coming in. But if all my time and energy and cognition's going out the door over here and being leaked over here, well, that's not sustainable. So how do we stop the leak? What does that look like? How do we strengthen ourselves so that we're not leaking, and so all of these structures can hold us when that success comes? Because it's going to come. Because it's a result of everything you're doing now. You're laying those foundations.
That is so insightful. You really have a way to, get a message through. Like, that is so insightful. And it's true, and I never saw it like that. Like, there's a leak over here. Usually you just kind of carry on and try and band-aid around it until either eventually it's really cracking and the fallout is really bad.
Yes.
But if you're wise enough to actually see that and know that it's not good for yourself. I've only recently understood the word abandonment, in my own life. Self-abandonment. And even, you talking before about don't abandon yourself for a long while. I thought, I don't even really know what that means. But your book certainly helped insightful, and also through situations in my life in the last couple of years. It's so important to choose yourself, because you came in here and you're going to go out on your own. So you need to be able to honour yourself to some degree.
So true. And the journey
not to some degree, to the max.
To the nth degree.
That's right. That's the degree.
100%. And again, it's really recognising it's not about shaming ourselves and going, I didn't even know what self-abandonment was, because most of us don't, because we're taught to do it without thinking about it. We're taught to self-abandon, to give endlessly our time, our labour, our energy, our love, our money.
Our attention.
We're taught it's not really ours and that it belongs to someone else and we should give it. And self-reclamation is the moment where you start going, whoa, why don't I get any of this? Why don't I deserve any of this? Why does everyone else deserve this? But I'm the one that's giving it, and I'm not even able to keep it for myself or retain any for myself. And that's not fair.
No.
And it's also not your fault. It's the way we were brought up, and it's our society. And then the tricky thing is holding ourselves through it and going, hey, I didn't know what it was for years, but now I do. And every little step, every small step that I do that claims my power back, claims my agency back, claims myself back. It can be a tiny, tiny action, and that's a massive step often for us. And I think we need to recognise and acknowledge those steps too.
I think, in a nutshell, basically it's about recognising She's Giving Wealth, your book, from my opinion, in the one read I've listened. It is about recognising that the system has literally set us up for self-abandonment, because we, as, I guess growing up as teenagers and into young adulthood, we have to work hard, or in my day for sure. I think it's changing now a little bit, than our counterparts, male counterparts, to get as far as they do, to get the best shifts on the radio station, to be told that we don't like listening to women on the radio, people don't like it, so many things. And then, yeah, there's been some crazy times.
We didn't even get into any of that. Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, and I know that, that's just one industry. All the industries are set up. But then, so, that's just from my perspective. But then also becoming parents, the mothers of the nurturers. Firstly, we have to go through, growing the baby and having the baby and then looking after the baby. And, when you're doing it, you don't think, oh, that's all my, that's the time. But it is. It is nurturing time, and time that you're nurturing something else where you're not nurturing yourself. And people say to young mothers, which I'm sure they do to you, you need to make sure you get some sleep while the baby's sleeping. Oh, I remember those days.
Oh, it's so simple.
Yeah, but feeding, like your priority is feeding the baby.
Yes.
You know, all of her needs need to be met firstly
Yes.
before yours.
Yes.
And that's just in our DNA, I reckon, that we
Yes.
do that. But
Yeah.
imagine if we even had an nth of any of those that we could empower ourselves.
Yeah.
We'd be a force to be reckoned with,
Yes.
right?
And I think that's the whole point, isn't it?
That's why the system's set.
Exactly, because it's like if we keep them small and if we keep them, like honestly, the system is built to extract so much from us that we are constantly exhausted, cognitively, physically, emotionally, and depleted. And it counts on us being that way so that we don't start to see the pattern and we don't start to see the extraction, and we don't start going, oh wait, what if the problem's not me? Because once we ask that question, everything cracks open and we can start to say, and we pull on that thread and we pull on that thread, and it takes us to other women who are pulling on that thread, and then we go, wow, this is such a system failure. But in another way, it's a system, designed exactly as it wants to be. It's perpetrating itself. It's, and you almost feel asleep with it. And then you wake up and you go, oh, no, sorry, I'm awake now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm awake now.
Yeah.
And every little step I take matters, and it's going to crack this wide open, and we're going to make the earth shake.
Yeah. Because you can't keep a good thing down.
You can't keep a woman
That's
woman
right.
down. Yeah.
We know our power, really.
Yes.
And I think, the world will shake because once we all actually understand our power.
Yes.
I think I said to you in the studio, like, no one would be here if it wasn't for a woman.
I loved that. I was like, that is everyone has come from a woman.
Yeah. And that's why we have the power, the nurturing power. But
Yeah.
we also need to express that in many different ways, me with my radio career and even
Yes.
doing this, because this is considered, somewhat of a male industry.
Yes.
But with what you're doing, talking to other women who are doing it
Yes.
and allowing themselves to shine.
Yes. And the book is very explicit that legacy isn't just having children. I say just, but it's really important to me that this book is representative of many women's experience and as much as possible to all women's experience. So in the book are several women who've chosen not to have children, and they have given care and they are creating legacy in so many other ways. And again, like the system conditions us not to view legacy as something like money that you pass to your children. And it's like, that's not the only that's not legacy. That's part of it, I guess. But what's bigger than that? What about the beliefs that stop with you? What about those scarcity mindsets that you have dealt with in your own life and you refuse to bring into your children's, or leaving that DV relationship, and demonstrating to your children that you are worthy, and it is hard. It's really hard, but, and the fallout is real and the energy drain is real and the safety issues are so real. But, just little steps of self-reclamation, showing the next generation, silence around money, silence around, the system, silence around everything in our lives. Like, let's stop the silence and begin talking. Let's stop the shame. Let's stop the self-punishment and pass something on to the next generation and the women coming up beside us. It's not just even kids. It's, like you doing your business. It's a body of work. Yeah. My book is a body of work.
That's right.
And those exist to show other women coming up beside us, behind us, in front of us, that we can build something that is valuable and it is worthy, and it's art. We are creating it. It's something so personal. It's an extension of who we are almost, and we are pouring ourselves into it, and it is valuable.
I don't do this intentionally to say, like, look what I can do. I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
I love doing this.
Yeah.
And I think my whole radio career brought me to doing
Yes.
this. So I get to chat with amazing people like you, and other authors that are inspiring and looking to, I'm not going to say change the world, but to show other people their message, their love and their authenticity, that it's okay to go down that path where your heart needs to go.
Yes.
No one's going to have a go at you for doing that. The only thing that can happen is shining, really, isn't it?
Yes, the risk is sometimes in being seen, in that visibility. And that's another fear, because we really have been conditioned to stay small, stay invisible, don't take up space. And it's quite scary to step into your power and to say, no, this is who I am and I deserve to be here and I belong here. And if this room can't take me, then I'm going to create my own one. Yeah. And I feel like that's what you've done. You've created your own room, and look at the women around you in your life, your friends, the people, like the women who've come on the podcast, the women who have recorded with you. And I just think, and your daughters, like you are showing women what it looks like to actually have that body of work and have that legacy in a different way.
Yeah, thank you.
It's really beautiful.
It does help that I love it and that I get to meet fabulous people like you.
Listen, and that's why you chose to do it, which is gorgeous. You've not, done it to prove a point. You've done it because you wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
I couldn't imagine, doing anything else. Every time, sometimes you get sick of work occasionally and it's too much, especially if you go through hardships.
Yes.
But then, next Caitlin Bath rocks in and I'm like, no, this is why I'm doing this.
I just feel like that week, it was just a really special week recording that with you. And it's nice to come back the week after and just say, hey, I feel like that was a therapy session. For me.
And for me.
And just that sharing and the power and the comparison, not comparison, but the stories where, we'd have a break, I'd blow my nose and you'd be like, you know what, that reminds me of this circumstance in my life and I went through that same thing here. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? That sort of, I've been where you are, or I had that too.
Yeah.
And you don't feel so alone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I think your book does. It makes you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah.
And the seasons, it's like it's not like a roller coaster, but it's definitely it's a bit of a roller coaster.
Life is
at
a roller
times.
coaster.
But it's never just going to be this one way. You are going to have your ups and down times. Things do happen externally that affect you personally. Yeah. But you do get through it.
Yes.
And all of those stories in each of those seasons and all of the archetypes do and have moved through it to grow.
Yes.
And sometimes you need to maybe go through the archetype once or twice.
Yes. Listen, I do say that in the book. You circle back around. You can, and the other thing is you can be in more than one at once. Maybe in some areas you're in your spring, you're starting to create things. You're seeing some of the fruits of your work start to happen. But then in other areas, maybe you're, back at autumn and you're starting to see other areas of your life where you're like, oh, wow, okay, I'm seeing a pattern here and I'm realizing it's not actually all my fault. And you can, be in parts of the thaw at the same time and be re-emerging from something, because grief, is its own journey and it's its own timeline, and sometimes we can't rush it. I'm really good at trying to rush it, but you can't rush it.
No, that's right.
I thought after
slow and steady.
I thought after my divorce, I think nearly 10 years ago, I thought I'd cracked the code. I just progressed beyond that. I didn't need to process anything. I was like, oh no, I'm fine.
Oh,
I wasn't fine.
Okay.
I think life brings you back, right?
Definitely.
It's like, oh, listen, unless you can heal and grieve and process and start to hold yourself, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to progress because your foundations are shaky, and it's around that, coming back to yourself and reinforcing them.
She's Giving Wealth is, I think I mentioned in the studio that it's like a women's Bible, or it's a women's handbook. It's like a one-stop shop to give you, I reckon even opening up a page, you'll get something from it. Or listening to a particular audio track, you'll get something from it that will, give you inspiration for the day.
Yeah.
Once it's out, it's in the editing stages at the moment.
I think it's a real power as well.
Caitlin has done such an amazing job. Your delivery was amazing. The content is incredible. And it's, I've used inspiring probably too many times now, but it is. There's a lot in there, and I highly recommend that every woman should read this.
Thank you.
Because it's not only empowering individually, but it's empowering us collectively too, and to teach the younger girls coming up that, hey, we're not second best.
Yes.
We're all just as important as each other.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think it's not just about money. It really is around ourselves and reclaiming ourselves.
Definitely. But there is the money. You give a little bit of financial advice, or not advice, but your thoughts on how to progress. And you kept saying, these are the boring bits that I have to put in. And I'm thinking, no, they're quite, like, I'm actually finding them quite interesting. You're going like, oh,
I know,
you did fall over a couple bit more.
I know. That was the hardest section in the creator section, because it was actually around, okay, here's, the concepts behind super, the concepts behind ETFs. This is how I made money. This is how I increased my money. This is how I leveraged my time to create money. And I think just for me, it was really important to put those things in there, because I was like, if there might not be for where everyone's at the moment, and you can skip those if you need to, but it is the map. It's to say, here's some things you can do if you would like to.
Yeah.
And this is how leveraging your energy actually increases your money and your wealth. And so it is an important part of the book, but it was really hard to narrate, like 2% per annum and I was like, oh. But you were very encouraging, and I kept on being like, I should just not have put this in the book. And you're like, no, because it's now a complete book.
Exactly.
And I really appreciate that encouragement, because it was really hard to narrate those sections.
It was really easy to listen to, so it wasn't, I thought it was all-encompassing.
Oh, that's good.
It's about building wealth. So she's giving wealth is not only your bank account or your financial situation or your super, it's about your family, it's about your self-beliefs, it's about showing up in the world. It's all-encompassing and a fabulous book. I'm so glad you came to do it with me.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for creating that beautiful experience. I feel like it was really important to me how it came out in the world, and I just feel like you and I aligned for a reason.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
It was just so beautiful to kind of birth it into the world in a spoken way in that little studio. So thank you.
Yeah,
thanks
my
for
pleasure.
being
My pleasure.
the midwife, I guess. You can bring this out into the world in a spoken way.
Oh, I'm so happy to have been a part of it. But did you, when you were writing it, did you have anyone in mind, or were you just... How did it come about? How did you start writing it?
Yeah.
I'm like using a pen here. But you probably
like
or maybe even like that.
It was like that at times, with the baby lying there and me going, I've got to put this down. I initially started writing because so many women said to me, how did you get to where you are? Like, you've started 2 businesses, you've owned multiple properties, you have the financial ability to sort of stay home with your baby for 6 months while you have done these things. And it was important for me to show them why I did it and how I did it. But then as I started to write and really get into it, I realized that the starting line isn't equal even, with women themselves, within us. And I remember just going, oh, well, I just started when I was this age, and I bred dogs, show dogs as a side hustle. And I made the money, and then I started working at Kmart as a Kmart checkout chick. And then I went into real estate. And I just thought, hang on, what about for the girls who don't have what I had? And what I had was, yes, systemic sort of exclusion, but what about for women of color? What about for migrant women who weren't born here? What about for First Nations women? What about women, disabled women? What about all of the single mums? What about all of these things here? And that's what really got me talking to other women, because I was like, I can't tell you how I did it and then tell you should do the same, because we don't all start at the same starting point.
Yeah.
And when I started talking to, Christy in the book, she's beautiful. She's from House of Dizzy. She's a First Nations woman in her family to start her own business and run her own business.
Yeah.
And she's designed the gorgeous earrings that you're wearing today.
She's giving well.
And Christy's an
I can't believe how they suit me. I've never worn big earrings, but
They look absolutely
Thank you.
all the way, repping them. I love them. So for Christy, you know, it was really important to me to talk to her about her experience with money and with safety and with wealth and what legacy means to her. And I look at her life and go, you know, she had so much systemic disadvantage, and it was, you know, wow, the things that were set against her. And she's created this label. She's created a business. She's created this family. She's created a legacy for her son, the little Ziggy, and he's 6 and he's got a little bluey wallet, and like she gets him to wash the window of the studio every week and puts $5 in his little bluey wallet. And so she's teaching him a different way than she was brought up with. But it also really goes into why, you know, the systemic exclusion of First Nations people, you know, in this country, and how our current wealth structure was actually built on their dispossession and their economic dispossession from land, from country, from resources. And that actually set the stage and the foundation for the wealth structures that exist, you know, today. So it was so important for me to talk to Christy and to have her story in the book, to talk to Agatha, who's a migrant woman, a director, who has had to navigate rooms that weren't built for her. And talk to these women, to Cassandra, who was born profoundly deaf, she contracted meningitis and became profoundly deaf through medical negligence, and how that's affected her life. So it's hard for me as a white woman, but it's harder for, you know, if you layer any other identity on top of that.
Absolutely.
So it was really important for me. The book changed really profoundly into, hey, this is how I did what I did, into
This is what they did.
Yeah. It was a real moment for me. The book, I remember just calling my friends and going, did you know this about, you know, the child support system? There's $2 billion owed in child support in Australia alone. Did you know that? And just getting angry. And all of my single mum friends saying, well, yeah, because this is what they do, and this is what my ex does, and this is how they minimise their... And it was so...
Yeah.
It was really humbling and exhausting and terrifying to like, the more I delved into it, and it just really reinforced the fact this is not our problem. It's not an isolated incident. No. It's not how we feel. This is how women are treated. So it was really important to have their voices in there, and it profoundly changed the book. It went from this is what you should do with your money, to women are sick of being told what to do with their money and their power and their time and their energy, and this is how you can stop it and how you can reclaim it.
She's giving wealth, right? You know, I think it's empowering from every angle, and every woman that you've talked to, just for what you've said. You've given your story, but the stories are so inspiring that it doesn't matter where you came from,
yes,
how you started, it's your self-belief.
Yes.
Do you think your self-belief is a direct reflection of your bank account now that you've written the book and been through it?
No, not at all. I think I'm very proud of what I've built financially, and I'm proud of the assets. I'm proud of that, but I'm prouder of the woman I've become through it. And I think that woman is the real asset. Oh. Because I feel like she can do anything, you know?
Yeah, she can.
She can.
Yeah.
We can.
Yes.
And I think that seeing ourselves as our biggest assets and our biggest treasure changes everything.
Oh, that just reminded me of something. I remember when my kids were little, and I was thinking, because I thought I didn't think much. I just did my career and did what I did, and I thought I was doing okay. But then when I thought about the real treasure, I thought the gold's at home.
Yes.
in my three daughters.
Yes.
That's the gold.
Yes.
And that's how we should have self-belief, that we're the gold.
Yes.
The treasure.
Yes. I think in the book, because I was raised in a very conservative religious environment, and in the book I share a parable about, the Bible says don't throw your pearls before pigs. And I remember just going, what does that even mean? And my older sister said, Kate, it just means don't give yourself or parts of yourself or things that are important to you to people who don't value them. And sometimes it's not because they just don't value them. It's sometimes because they can't. Sometimes they lack the capacity to value you. And it's around, okay, if I'm the treasure here and if I'm the pearl, how am I investing my time and my energy in myself? Is it into people and systems and that extract from me and use me? Or is it into people who hold me and love me and support me and that it's reciprocal?
Yeah.
It's around where do we invest our treasure, and our treasure is ourselves.
That's beautiful.
So I feel like I am my biggest asset. I am my treasure. And even when it's really exhausting and it's really scary, and if you're in a season where I am at now of some rebuilding, it's almost like I've done this before. I know this girl. She's got this. She's powerful. We're powerful.
Yep.
We are so powerful.
Definitely.
And it's okay to claim that, and it's okay to live that and
That's
to
so
hold
good.
that.
That's literally the takeaway from the book, right?
Yeah.
You just nailed that.
Yeah.
I think anyone listening or walking away or reading it will walk away with that thinking, I'm the treasure.
That's the whole aim. That's the whole aim.
You've done amazing. So, what now? You've pretty much got everything lined up. You've had the launch. It's out online in print version.
Yes.
The cover looks amazing.
Thank you.
The audio's, like I said, being edited, so it's not too far away from being up there.
I can't wait.
That's exciting.
I think the biggest thing really is how to continue in a way that's really aligned with the values of what I'm doing. Because, there's a lot of scarcity marketing. There's a lot of scarcity mindset around, oh, you need to do this next, or you should do this, or you should be selling this much, or you should. And it's balancing that with what's important to me, what is this book about, and how do I hold it and position it and sell it as what it is, which is not scarcity, not driving people with urgency. It's actually around, hey, I really think this book is for you. I think you'll find yourself in its pages, but it's here for you when you're ready. There's no scarcity here. There's no, that's really important to me, and that's this season. That's why I sat with the book for a week recently, because I thought I want this message to go out really beautifully, because it is a beautiful message.
Yeah.
So there's a lot on my website with free resources. I'm working on a lot of free resources that are downloadable. Because I want people, even if they don't have the time at the moment or even the money to buy the book, to have something there that's real and important.
That's amazing.
Because it's more than money, right? It is, and it's about getting the message out there. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, just staying with myself, holding myself and going, what are my values here? And how do I make this as accessible as possible for women? So that even if they go on the website, do the seasons quiz, see what season they're in, download their free guide. I just made that as much value as I possibly could. And I've got coaches saying, no, you've got to charge for it. And that should be $27 because it's really good value. And I'm like, I hear you. I know my time is valuable too. And that's a big takeaway from the book.
Yes.
But also, the sisterhood doesn't gatekeep.
No.
It shares power.
That's right.
So, sorry, that's my brand. That's what I'm doing. And it might make absolutely no sense to anyone else right now, but that's really important to me. Just sitting with that and being really honest with myself around what that looks like.
Are you aiming to, I believe that you probably, I don't want to use the word should. There's people out there that would love to work with you on self-development, on, learning how to be their best selves.
Oh, that's so interesting that you
Are you doing that?
I'm so into that. I'm actually looking at how do I support women? Like, how can I do a short sort of course that's self-paced that women can do?
Yeah.
That is there for them, that is available to them. They don't have to do it. They should, nothing about should, but it's there for them if they say, oh gosh, like I've read a download or I've seen something online or I've read a podcast, I want more. So we're looking at a short course and then some one-on-one coaching, because I love applying the frameworks in the book to lives, and even doing it with myself recently was really insightful, because it was like, where in my life am I leaking energy, and how are all my life structures going, and the self-compassion, nervous system regulation, so important. That's a huge part of my journey in getting here and being here and being able to hold myself.
That is, like, I think the number one thing that women need to learn.
Yeah.
That's amazing if you can teach us that.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I feel like, again, it's in all of us. It's not about me giving or people power or permission, because we don't need those things. We have them within us.
Yeah.
But it's almost around just reminding women of that, reminding myself of that, because we need to.
You're amazing, Caitlin. So where can people find you then?
On my website, shesgivingwealth.com. There's a seasons quiz. You can do it. You can see which season you're in. There's a downloadable on that. There's a free workbook on there. You can buy the book. And we're building out our Work With Me page as well.
Excellent.
So you can email me from there, and I'm on Instagram as well. So yeah, it's about sitting with self, holding self, supporting women, supporting self. That's what this season's all about for me.
Yeah, awesome. And that's really what She's Giving Wealth is all about as well.
Yeah.
Support and a way forward with your truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Self-compassion.
Without abandonment.
Yes.
And self-recognition.
Yeah. And no shame.
Yeah.
No shame here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can do anything. We can do anything.
We can.
How fabulous is Caitlin Barth? She's Giving Wealth. It's out now in print and ebook, and the audiobook's coming very soon. Thank you so much for doing your audiobook with me and for having the chat on the podcast today.
Oh, it's so lovely to be here. Thank you so much for your time. I love communing with you. I just feel like it's a really special, safe, beautiful space. Oh. So I'm really, really grateful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Caitlin. I'm really glad that I can provide that. It means a lot to me. So, yeah,
You're
all the best with what you're doing. You're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing God's work.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Simone Feiler podcast. Subscribe to the channel, giving authors a platform. Like and share the videos to help indie authors get their story out to the people who need to hear them. And make your audiobook dream a reality with Simone Feiler, the audiobook queen. Find out more at audiobookaustralia.com.